The Los Angeles Rams' decision to part ways with special teams coordinator Chase Blackburn after Thursday night's collapse against the Seattle Seahawks was abrupt, dramatic, and completely on brand for a team that believes it is built to win right now. This wasn't just a reaction to one bad night. It was the culmination of months of frustration, repeated mistakes, and a growing realization that special teams were actively costing the Rams games in a season where margins are razor thin. Thursday night was simply the breaking point. The Rams had Seattle on the ropes. Up 30-14 entering the fourth quarter, they were cruising toward what looked like a statement win, one that would have kept them firmly in control of their own destiny for the NFC's top seed. Instead, everything unraveled in a way that felt almost impossible, even by NFL chaos standards. It started with a missed field goal in a tie game. Harrison Mevis, who had been nearly flawless since taking over kicking duties, pushed a 48-yarder wide with just over 2 minutes left in regulation. It wasn't an automatic kick, but in a game of that magnitude, it was a moment that loomed large. Then came the real gut punch. Rashid Shaheed fielded a punt and ripped off a 58-yard return touchdown, instantly flipping the emotional momentum of the game. In one snap, Seattle went from trailing comfortably to believing again. That return didn't just put points on the board, it cracked the door open, and the Seahawks blasted straight through it. From there, the Rams unraveled in ways that felt eerily familiar. Seattle converted 2 separate two-point attempts. The game went to overtime. And by the end of the night, the Rams had somehow turned a near-certain win into a devastating 38-37 loss, one that may have cost them the NFC's top seed, a first-round bye, and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. When the dust settled, Sean McVay made a move he had never made before in 9 seasons as head coach, an in-season firing of a coordinator. That detail matters. McVay is known throughout the league as loyal to his staff, sometimes to a fault. He prefers continuity. He prefers fixes behind closed doors. For him to pull the plug in December sends a very clear message. This was no longer tolerable, and the numbers back him up. Of the Rams' 4 losses this season, 3 featured critical special teams failures that directly altered the outcome of the game. In Week 3 against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Rams blew a 26-7 lead. 2 fourth-quarter field goals were blocked. One was returned for a touchdown by Jordan Davis. That's a potential 6-point swing on a single play in a game the Rams ended up losing. In Week 5 against the San Francisco 49ers, another Thursday night game, the kicking unit faltered again. Joshua Carty missed a 53-yard field goal and had an extra point blocked in the fourth quarter. The Rams lost that game by 3 points in overtime. Those special teams mistakes alone accounted for more than the margin of defeat. By mid-season, it was clear something was wrong. The Rams responded aggressively. They overhauled their entire kicking operation before Week 10. Carty was replaced by Harrison Mevis. Long snapper Alex Ward was replaced by veteran Jake McQuaid. On paper, the fixes worked. Mevis stabilized the unit, converting 32 straight extra points and hitting 8 of 9 field goals. But stability didn't equal excellence, and it didn't erase the deeper structural issues. Coverage units remained inconsistent. Punt protection broke down at the worst possible moments, and against Seattle, when discipline and execution mattered most, the Rams' special teams failed again, spectacularly. That punt return touchdown wasn't just a missed tackle, it was a breakdown in lane integrity, spacing, and awareness. The kind of mistake that reflects preparation, not just effort. And for a coaching staff obsessed with details, that's unforgivable in December. From McVay's perspective, the calculus is simple. The Rams have a loaded offense. They have a top 10 scoring defense. They are built to make a deep playoff run. But playoff games are often decided by one play, a missed kick, a return, a blocked punt. And right now, special teams are the one phase actively undermining everything else. That's why Chase Blackburn became the fall guy. Blackburn, a former 10-year NFL linebacker, was in his 3rd season as the Rams' special teams coordinator. He had prior experience in the role with the Tennessee Titans and had built a solid reputation around the league. But results matter more than resumes, and in Los Angeles, patience runs thin when championships are the expectation. This firing isn't necessarily an indictment of Blackburn as a coach. It's an acknowledgement that the message wasn't landing anymore, that whatever adjustments were being made weren't sticking, and that the Rams couldn't afford to hope things would clean themselves up in January. Ben Kotwica stepping in as interim coordinator is a move rooted in familiarity and urgency. He knows the system, he knows the personnel, and most importantly, he can simplify things quickly. Late season special team success isn't about innovation, it's about eliminating errors. No free lanes, no mental lapses, no hero ball. The broader context here is the NFC playoff picture. By losing to Seattle, the Rams surrendered control of the NFC West race and the inside track to the top seed. That means their margin for error is gone. They now need help from other teams, and they may be forced to play extra playoff games, possibly on the road, because of this loss. That's why Thursday night felt so final. It wasn't just a loss, it was a warning shot. McVay's post-game frustration, even when directed publicly at officiating, masked a deeper truth. The Rams beat themselves again, and special teams were the loudest culprit. In the NFL, coaches often say the third phase doesn't matter until it does, and when it does, it tends to matter all at once, in the worst possible moments. The Rams have learned that lesson the hard way in 2025. Now, the question isn't whether the firing was justified, it's whether it's enough. Can Kotwica steady the unit in time? Can coverage discipline be fixed in weeks, not months? Can the Rams survive another special teams mistake in January? Because if they can't this season, one filled with talent, balance, and championship potential, will be remembered not for what the Rams were, but for what they couldn't clean up in time. And in Los Angeles, that's the kind of failure that lingers long after the final whistle. The Los Angeles Rams didn't just lose a game Thursday night in Seattle, they lost patience. After a stunning 38-37 overtime collapse against the Seahawks, the Rams have reportedly fired special teams coordinator Chase Blackburn, a decisive and rare in-season move by head coach Sean McVay. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Blackburn's dismissal marks the first time in McVay's 9-year tenure that he has made a mid-season coaching change. And given how Thursday night unfolded, it's not difficult to understand why. The Rams had multiple chances to put the game away. Instead, special teams failures once again crept into the spotlight, turning what should have been a statement road win into one of the most damaging losses of their season. Early mistakes set the tone. Los Angeles missed a field goal in a game that ultimately went to overtime. More costly, however, was the breakdown that flipped the entire momentum of the night. A 58-yard punt return touchdown allowed in the fourth quarter. That single play cracked open the door for Seattle, which had been down 30-14 entering the final quarter. Once Rashid Shaheed broke loose on the return, everything changed. Seattle suddenly had life. The crowd re-engaged. The Rams tightened up, and from there, the Seahawks executed one of the most improbable comebacks of the season, scoring twice, converting two two-point attempts, and eventually winning